Do you want to be big, strong American welder? Work on cars? Have lots of girls? Fix your house with strong welds? This is the welder for you. Look how good this weld is. Look at how perfect that weld was. Let me show you more so you can be big, strong American welder. I'll take that every day of the week. Wow, kind of surprised me there. I'm not gonna lie to you. Wow, okay. So I hope you guys appreciate the fake Teemu ad that I had to put at the front of this. There's nothing wrong with Teemu. I don't have any problems with Teemu. This is not sponsored by Teemu by any means, but a lot of their stuff is just so cheap that it's almost unbelievable at what they have. And they have maybe the cheesiest commercials I've ever seen. It's always like over the top. I've done a couple of these where I've bought just super cheap welders, super cheap paint guns. And one of their welder videos, there's literally like a girl and she's just holding it and it's welding perfect.
Electric welder for $10.39. Limited time.
No mask, no nothing. It's obviously just edited in. I had to do that for you. Here's the real story. Like I said, I always buy weird, cheap shit. I've done a couple different welders from Teemu, Amazon. Teemu just always seems to have the cheapest ones. And to be completely honest with you, a lot of the stuff is pretty good. I wouldn't put it up there with the best welder I've ever used or the best paint gun I've ever used, but you can definitely get by with it. Like $4 paint gun, $5 paint gun, works great. It's comparable to like a cheap Harbor Freight $9.99 gun. Now, half the time the Harbor Freight gun is easier to get, it's cheaper, free shipping, you can go pick it up from the store. Teemu just runs these crazy deals where stuff will be like 90% off sometimes, and what I have found on there is if something first gets introduced, like while the quantities are high, it's really cheap. I picked up a handheld wire feed welder. I saw the ad and I was like, that's crazy. I have a handheld stick welder, which made more sense to me because it's just an electrode. The wire feed handheld just blew me away. I was like, how does that work? It didn't say it was gasless at the time, but it is. It's flux core, which a lot of guys use flux core. I usually just use gas because I'm more of a fabricator. Flux core is kind of messy, kind of dirty, but it'll 100% get the job done. So I wasn't even sure that it was gasless. So I was like, how the hell do you hook a bottle to it? That's what my main question was. And whenever it first popped up for me, it was $62. I took a screenshot of it. But like everything on Teemu, I hit some sort of a discount, some sort of like a first app user discount. And whenever the quantities started going lower, it just got more and more expensive. I checked a couple weeks later, it got up to $80. And last week, I made a video on this. I was actually working on my lowrider van, and I needed to weld a couple bumper brackets on. I needed to weld the throttle cable on. And I'm out of argon in my other welder, my Eastwood welder. So I said, screw it, let's give this thing a shot, see what happens. It worked out okay, it was fine. I threw the video up online on Instagram, Facebook, and it blew up. It's got a couple million views. Everybody was going crazy. Here's the thing. Whenever I uploaded this a week ago, they were like $120 now, and I think that's what they are still, unless you can pop into Teemu and catch some of those weird daily discounts that they do. But I paid $62 for it. There was another one on there 2 or 3 days ago that I believe was $79.99, so I think as they're starting to produce more, they're coming back down in price. But here's the thing. $60 welder, let's give it a shot, see what it is. Flux core welders can be had very cheap. I've never really bought one before, but I know a lot of places sell them for like $100, $150. And flux core just basically has your flux or your gas that protects oxygen from getting to your weld and making it all shitty. On flux core, it's in the wire. It's already over the wire, just like it would be on like a stick welder, the electrode. It has a covering on it, so you don't need any gas. You can just fire it up and go. A lot of people assumed this was 220. It's not. It's 110, just plugs into a standard outlet. And what it is, it has a plug-in, and it has a ground strap. Obviously, a piece of metal needs grounding to take a weld. And then on the back of it, or the front of it rather, it has wire speed and volts. I haven't really played with the wire speed or anything. I don't even know what that button does, and I don't know what that button does. Flux 08, flux 09. No clue what that even means. So yeah, what we're gonna do, I welded a bumper bracket with it that was 1/8 inch thick steel. And then the little throttle cable bracket that I made for it was, you know, maybe 16 gauge. A lot of people were asking about sheet metal. Will it work for sheet metal? Can you go thicker stuff with it? Obviously, if I was welding a truck frame, I wouldn't grab this welder. I would go for something bigger, but I think it will be fun to try it out, see what it does. Let's max it out, see how it is, and just see if we can't see how nice the welds are, see what we can do. I am 100% not the best flux core welder on the planet. I'm certified in MIG and TIG, not certified on flux core, not certified on stick weld. So I still know how to weld and how to get everything together, but flux core is kind of its own little thing. Now, a lot of guys love it. It seems to burn hotter than a regular weld, but it's just not as pretty because the flux kind of just gets in the welds. It can be kind of porous. See what we can do with it. See if I can't learn a little bit better for flux core welding myself. And yeah, see if you guys should buy one. Right off the bat, I'll tell you right now, just for what I've used it, if you can find one for the $60 range, $70 range, like I got it, I would 100% jump on it. Let's fire it up and see what happens. I don't know. Might suck. So we're going to do our weld test, and I'm going to give it the best chance it can, just as I would any weld. Everything is cleaned up, ground down, got nice clean metal. Don't weld over rust and paint, guys. It does not work out very good in the long run, I promise. Whether you're using a really good welder or a shitty welder you bought as a troll. I have 18 gauge sheet metal, or 1/8 inch plate, 1/4 inch plate, and then 1/2 inch plate. Now, I don't know what you might want to use this stuff for, but I'm a hot rod builder. I build cars. I almost never need to weld 1/2 inch plate. I mean, a handful of times will I ever need anything that thick. About everything on a car is 1/4 inch, 3/16, something like that. I mean, airbag brackets, all the suspension stuff, none of it is just that heavy duty. Let me see if I can show you. Here we go. Airbag brackets, 1/4 inch plate, 1/4 inch plate, 1/4 inch on the 4-link. So yeah, if you're wanting to do tractor work, you're gonna need some 1/2 inch plate, but that is not something I'm ever using. And if I was working on a tractor, I don't know that I would buy a $60 handheld wire feed welder. But let's see. We're gonna start with the sheet metal and just work our way up and try and make some good welds. Like I said, not a great flux core welder, but hopefully we learn some shit while we're doing this. I've never actually sat down and tried to dial the settings or anything on a flux core welder, so that's what we're gonna do. Let's go. One says volt and one says amps. How does it say V and A? One should be speed. All right, we're gonna go in the middle and see what happens. All right, I'll be honest with you, that's a little too hot. But that's pretty damn good. See how dirty it looks? That's all flux that needs to come off. I'm gonna hit it with the wire wheel real quick and we'll look at it. Ooh, that's warm, damn. It's almost like I just welded it. Not bad. I could weld it better if it was gas, but I mean, that's pretty damn good. Full penetration through the back, plenty of heat through the bottom. That is a perfect weld. Not a perfect looking weld, but a perfect weld. That actually is pretty great, to be completely honest with you. I burnt through right there. Better than I expected, to be honest with you. Okay, now here's the only thing. Still don't know what these mean, but I'm like, what do you think, 60% turned up? And that was sheet metal, so let's crank it a little bit more, not go too crazy, and let's get our 1/8 inch. I think with the thicker shit, you should probably slow down. I don't like to weld very slow, but that's not bad. This one is super hot. We got full penetration in the back, a lot of heat in the bottom. Not bad at all. Let me go cool this off. Shit, I'll be honest with you, that looks fine. That's not bad at all. Need to slow down a little bit. I don't know if you do a different pattern with flux core than you do solid wire or MIG, because I usually do C's or circles, but that ain't bad at all. A lot of heat. Actually kind of, oh wow. We got so much heat in there, we almost warped it. Ooh, that's not bad. I'll take both of those every day of the week. Now, we gotta bump it up to the heavy duty shit, and I do not know how it's gonna do with that. My expectations are very low on this one. So my mic died here, and I'm probably saying something extremely smart, witty, funny, because I'm amazing. But in reality, I think I'm talking about how I have no clue where the settings go on this thing. So we turned it to like 60% for sheet metal, turned it to like 70% for the 1/8 inch, and then the 1/4 inch, I just turned it like 90%, almost all the way up. Let's see what happens. Shit! The battery died on my mic, so I'm gonna probably be doing a lot of voiceover on this. My bad. 1/4 inch plate actually looks really good. Very surprised. I didn't think it was gonna do the 1/4 inch plate. Really good heat. Penetration through the back, you can see it. You can also see some of the weld coming through. That is very surprising. I did not think it was gonna do the 1/4 inch. And I'll be honest with you, 1/4 inch looks better than the 1/8 inch, probably because I stayed in there a little bit longer, but you can see right there, it's just so awkward that the damn thing, you know, you're holding a welder. But not bad. I was gonna say there's no chance it's doing 1/2 inch, but maybe there is now, because that worked out all right. Let's see what happens. I just tacked it to hold it in place, and I think we might be good, to be completely honest with you. Huh. Let's see. Holy shit. Now look, we didn't get a heat signature on the back. But I think we're welded. I'm gonna go cool it off, hit it with a wire wheel. I think we're good. I didn't think it was even gonna try that, but I don't know. We'll find out real quick. That's not bad. A little cold, but not bad. Normally whenever you're welding something this thick, you would put a bevel on it so your weld can get in there, but I didn't want to put a bevel on it so I could look at it from the side real good. There's our 1/2 inch. There's our 1/4. 1/4 was the best. I think, obviously, since I don't know the settings great on this thing, I think the settings were just best for the 1/4 inch. The 1/8 inch isn't bad. Sheet metal's fine, doesn't look good. It was by far the hottest weld. And I mean, I would, if you're doing like 1/4 panel repair, I would trust that in a heartbeat. That's fine, no big deal. I tried to keep it small because you don't want a lot of weld whenever you're doing sheet metal work, because you want to be able to grind it down easy for paint and stuff. So, I mean, sheet metal's 10 out of 10, 1/4 inch, 10 out of 10. I would give this like an 8. It's not bad. I just should have stayed in it a little bit longer. This weld, even though these are roughly the same length, this weld probably took me twice as long maybe, because I just kind of stayed in it a little bit more, and that's what I should have done with that. This I would give like a 2 out of 10. We definitely hit the max output that we can get on this machine, but I think if I would have beveled the edges, maybe preheated, it might have worked out okay. So this might be operator error, but still 2 out of 10. And then I want to test one more thing before we're done. This thing has a, I don't know, actually 6-foot cord maybe. And every welder, when you run it on an extension cord, you will lose some of your amperage. I want to run it on an extension cord to see what it looks like. Even good welders, if you have an extension cord, it can mess with stuff. But since this one is handheld, I can see being in a lot of places where you would need an extension cord just to get to wherever you're going. Like if you're welding, you know, under a dash. My lowrider van that I had over there, I didn't need an extension cord just because I happened to have a close plug-in to it. So it worked out okay, but an extension cord would have been needed 90% of the time. All right, final test. We have the welder hooked up on a 10-foot extension cord, and I cut the 1/4-inch piece back off, grinded it down. We are going to try and weld it, see what happens. I think we obviously found out that 1/2 inch is at the limits of this machine because that weld seemed cold. This 1/4 inch wasn't bad at all. I had to cut real deep into it to get it out, and then whenever the weld ended up coming out, there was indentations of the weld being in the actual 1/4 inch plate. So I think you can do 1/4 pretty well. You just gotta take your time. I think personally, 10-foot extension cord, 1/4 inch weld's not gonna work, but let's find out. All right, I'm starting to get the hang of flux core. You really can kind of hold it in there and let it build up on itself. Whereas a MIG welder, if you sit there and hold it, your weld will just get bigger. This one seems to just keep like eating in more and more. So we might have some operation error. I'm sure we have some operation error. But let's get this one cleaned up real quick. Doesn't look bad so far. I'll be honest with you, that looks better than the first time I did it. I actually got a little bit of undercut where it got too hot down in there. Holy shit. Look at it from the side. Look how much it penetrated in. That is a pretty damn good weld right there. Holy crap. Good heat on the bottom again. I actually warped this plate because I've welded it so many times. Wow. Huh. Now, some of that is me learning how to flux core a little bit better, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't think it would do the 1/4 inch with a 10-foot extension cord. If I'm ever welding something that big, I'm not using this welder, but you could. If you were in a jam, you definitely could. I mean, I'll take that every day of the week. Wow. Little shit kind of surprised me there. I'm not gonna lie to you. Wow, okay. Damn. I still have like 3/4 of a roll left too. And I've been using this thing, I don't know, a couple weeks now, just here and there. Shit. That actually surprised me. No clickbait, no bullshit. 100% surprised me. I didn't think it would be able to do 1/4 inch. I didn't think it would be able to even come close to 1/2 inch. It technically did. It wasn't the strongest weld. You could definitely tell that it was cold, but stuck them together. Definitely, if you needed it like to get out of a jam, that would be perfect. 1/4 inch, I mean, I don't think I wouldn't not trust that weld at all. That was great. No big deal. Take it. Not the prettiest welds, but like I said, some of that is me. I didn't realize until the last 10 minutes of welding that flux core, you can kind of just hold it there and it will just keep digging the weld into the metal, whereas a MIG welder, it will start building up more weld wire. So you can really just kind of stay in there and let it go. I did 1/8 inch bumper brackets on my lowrider Astro van, and it did great on that, but I could have even done better if I'd have known that. You could have kind of just stuck in there. Didn't think it was going to do that. I figured once you put any extension cord on it, you just lost everything. Still did the 1/4 inch fine. I think the extension cord 1/4 inch weld was better. So yeah, crazy. If you are like a car guy and you're wanting to do sheet metal work, 100% get one of those. The only thing I would say is if the price is still $120, $130, there is other flux core welders that aren't handheld. Like I think Harbor Freight has one, just a little buzz box. But if you get one of these, cheap enough, or if you want something that's just super easy, if you're a first-time welder, it doesn't get much easier than this. There's not really any settings to learn. You don't have a giant welder that you need to carry around, or you need a cart to roll on. Most welders, you have a big cart. That thing's perfect. I had guys commenting on Instagram, how great would it be to throw this in your truck? Like if you're on a job site and you needed some, piece of rebar that needed welded, bam, done. Stuff like that, it's perfect for. Stuff on a farm, easy, like fence post bullshit, be done in 2 minutes. Especially if you had a generator in your truck, plug it in, go. Don't have to set anything up. So cannot recommend it enough. I bought it as a joke. I legitimately bought it as a joke, and I've used it 10 times in the last couple weeks. Now, I do need to get argon for my real welder, but that's beside the point. Give it a shot. If you want to, like I said, I got this one on Teemu. I've seen them on Amazon. I've seen them other places. If you can find them where they have like a giant discount on them, give them a shot. I am a huge fan. Really surprised me with the 1/4 inch plate. I didn't think it was gonna do 1/4 inch at all. And I think that was by far my best welds. And if you're doing car stuff, I keep saying car stuff because that's where I come from. I mean, I don't think you're ever gonna need anything, especially if you're into like import shit. Nothing on those is thicker than 1/8 inch. You know, my CRX, I have a CRX I put a V8 in. Nothing on that car was thicker than 1/8 inch. It's just stamped steel together in several pieces, but it's not super thick. So if you're wanting it for something like that, it would be perfect. Give it a shot. I gave it a full review. I'm very surprised. 100% worth the money. I don't know, like I said, if it was 120 bucks, I wouldn't have bought it just as a joke. I probably wouldn't have messed with it. Because I think there might be better options at 120. It's not gonna be handheld, which is nice. But yeah, if you can catch them on sale somewhere, I 100% would get it. I can't believe how well it did with the extension cord. Blew me away. If you are not subscribed, please hit that button now. Caseyscustoms.com for the coolest merchandise on the planet. A bunch of new designs. Basically any color, size, shirt, hoodie, beanie that you want, we can have it made for you. Check that out. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, comment, all that good shit they tell you at the end of videos. And check out some of my other videos. Peace! I love you.